Hello, I'm Andy.
I'm Nancy.
Welcome back.
It's been a while. I feel like we say that too much.
We probably do. The footage that you're seeing today is probably about a year old. Pretty close to a year old.
Pretty close to a year old.
Yeah.
Life kind of got in the way and videos took a back seat, but
Yeah, we still have some footage, so we figured we better put some together and get some videos out here. And
catch you up
We're back in beautiful Colorado. Can't see as many mountains from where we're sitting, but
so peaceful up here. And if we just stepped out a little bit, you'd be able to see a lot.
yeah. I'm in the den, I guess, spare bedroom, whatever we want to call it. And this is the room I made the original bed in. It was Connor's original room. Let me turn the camera around. I built this steel bed frame, and I have all the slats stacked down on this end right now. We had the slats going across. The slats fit quite tight, but they would still move, and then the bed would sag down. So I'm going to screw a couple of them down, I think one in the middle and one on each end. And then I'll use some strapping to hold them all together. I think that'll work well. I'm also going to, along the front edge of the bed here, put a board that's, I think, 6 inches tall. And that'll help keep the mattress from sliding off. Because right now it's only got about a 1/4 inch lip, and that's not enough to keep the mattress from sliding off the front. We always knew we were going to put a padded board on there. Nancy's padding it and wrapping it in vinyl, fake leather type stuff right now. I gotta get these slats so they stay in place. Now for the ever important, that ain't going anywhere.
What? Oh, you're not talking to me, are you?
No. You want to talk to the camera? You can.
I kind of do. I'm reading this article talking about investors swapping cash for stocks in a rapid frenzy ahead of the Fed meeting. And I realized I read the entire article, and while I understood every single word that was written, I didn't understand any of it.
There. The slats will all stay in place now. And we have this board on the front that will keep the mattress on. And the board is wrapped with this. That dog's been barking all day. They haven't been here most of the day. The board's wrapped in fine Corinthian leather with a little bit of padding underneath it.
One of my favorite things about where we were parked for the summer last year was just the view. The sunrises and the sunsets. Being on the water was wonderful.
When we moved onto the bus, Allison left Minnesota and moved to Ohio. It had been a year since we'd seen her when she came out to visit last year. She brought her kitties along, which I loved because we'd never met Castiel. She rescued her off of the street right after she moved to Ohio. We did a lot of hiking last year. Saw a lot of amazing things. The mountains, I'm not even sure I have the right words to describe exactly how they make me feel. But if you've ever been somewhere and felt like that's where you've belonged your entire life, that is how I feel here. I also saw a lot of animals for the first time last year, mule deer being one of them. I saw them run across the road at one point, and they are so cute, the way they just kind of hop across the road. But I think my favorite thing about where we stayed last year ultimately had to be the view.
Our daughter's catalytic converter was stolen shortly before it probably wasn't that shortly, probably a month before she came out to visit us in Colorado. And she decided to drive around a very loud Prius for a month instead of paying, well, over half of what she paid for her car to have her catalytic converter replaced. I replaced it with a straight pipe because my thought is that a straight pipe Prius is still cleaner than most cars on the road, and yeah, it's really tough to put a $1,200 catalytic converter in a $2,000 car. Now where we are right now is under a fire ban, so I'm going to actually have to weld inside of the bus. Not going to be enjoyable. I don't even know if I'm going to bring the camera in, or if I'm going to have to put so much stuff around me to make sure the sparks don't damage anything else. There's not even any room. I have my high flow cat. It's an inch and, what is it, an inch and 3/4 adapter on one end, inch and 7/8 adapter on one other end with inch and 3/4 pipe, and this should work. Well, the clamp on each end. I've worked at a couple shops in my life where I could have just taken a piece of pipe and flared the ends, but I don't have that equipment here, and all in I'm about $40 into this. The idea that these catalytic converters are being stolen more and more each year, I have a whole nother video on this that I'm going to rant on, and the laws are in the books. It'd be easy to stop this. The EPA has the laws out there. They're just not being used.
People have asked what we do for work when we're out here in Colorado, so I thought I would share a peek at a couple of the last jobs we had before we left for the season last year.
I almost forgot. There's a funny story I got to tell you about a video that Nancy's editing. She's actually done editing it right now, so I'm going to sneak this in. I'm sure she's going to rewatch it again before she throws it on the YouTube, so maybe this clip won't make it, but she has some video here of her in the skid steer, and she's good at driving the skid steer. She's had practice. She worked at a greenhouse, nursery, whatever you want to call it, and she knows what she's doing with it, but that doesn't mean she doesn't sometimes get nervous. And while we were down there using it at, where were we at? Roaring Fork Campground. She got out on the beach with it to deliver some fire rings to some campsites that are just off of the beach. And while going from the beach into the campsite, she ended up wheeling the skid steer straight up in the air. So the only thing touching the ground was the back bumpers and the back tires, I guess. But she was stuck straight up in the air with a stump underneath her. And she started screaming. Connor was the closest to her, and it took him a minute to hear her screaming. By the time he came to us, or he went to her because she was screaming, and then he came to us. And when he came to me and Allison, he told us that Mom was stuck on the beach with her back tires, which I thought she meant she sunk in the sand, and I was going to have to articulate the bucket to get it out. We're working at over 8,000 feet. I don't run above 8,000 feet, so I walked over to where she was. By the time I got there, about 15 minutes had passed since she first got this thing stuck, and she was still in it, scared to get out of it, with it straight up in the air, and she was screaming almost this whole time. I got fairly close to her before I heard her screaming, and that's the only time I ran, was after she started screaming. When I got there, she's in the skid steer, straight up in the air, just hilarious. And I have her get out, shut it off, and I try to shake it. I can't shake it to get it to fall down. So I trust that it's not going to fall down. I have her get out the front and then jump off the side, so if it did fall, she wouldn't end up underneath it. Then I climbed up into it, wore my seatbelt for one of the first times ever in a skid steer, and I backed it right off the stump like it wasn't even stuck. I just went brink, and I was back down on all four wheels. She had tried and tried and tried, and you could tell she tried from where the tires had spun, but it's just one of those things. It's like trying to open up the jar, and after trying to open up the jar, you hand it to someone else, and they go pop, and they're like, oh yeah, you loosened it for me. But just a funny story when it came to the skid steer. Nancy stuck just straight up and down. Didn't damage the skid steer at all. No harm, no fall, but man, was it funny.
That right there, that little dip in between the mountains, that's a creek that falls down the mountainside. Absolutely gorgeous. That's the trail Andy and I went up when we saw all the glory of the wilderness back behind there. Wow. Oh. Holy cow. And over there, at the top of that, there's a cross that we're supposed to be able to reach because a friend of ours has already been up there. The photos are amazing. This is terrible hard to do steadily. I don't think you can see it. Well, maybe you can. But it's gorgeous. And this had a lot more water in it a month or so ago before they started letting water out.
I think today was a 15% chance of snow or something, but at least it held off to the end of the day.
I hope you enjoyed this video. The next video, I think it's got Georgia, and I know we leave Colorado in the next video.
No, we leave Colorado in this one.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Shows what I know. I'll have an individual video out on the catalytic converter because I got some more things I want to say about that, and I'll put that in its own video in and of itself. And make sure you tickle that like button. Thanks for watching.
See you later.
Bye.